Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Wednesday to you. This is Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. BJ Rains with you today, and got a fun show. We're going to talk some Boise State softball. We got Coach Justin Shults joining us in just a couple of minutes. Obviously, Boise State, no midweek basketball game this week, as we've been talking about. They'll be back in action against Wyoming on Saturday, but you had some other Mountain West games that we're going to hit on and touch on, and we'll be doing that here during the next 30 minutes or so. As always, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. Make sure you pick up more than one of their 30 flavors of premixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. We always appreciate Cutwater Spirits. Make sure you go download the Bronco Nation News app. By the way, our new app is live. It's in your app store, Google Play. You can get it all different areas, so it's free. And it'll take you right to the website. You can watch all of our live broadcasts and shows and things right from the app. So make sure you go download the app. And we're pushing that YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We just surpassed 2,000 YouTube subscribers. So we've added about 900 or so in the last, I'd say, 4 months. So we're charging ahead. And our goal in 2023 is to get past 10,000 YouTube subscribers in 2023. So if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please head on over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. That is the easiest place to watch our broadcast. As always, we're taking your comments, your questions, whatever you got in the ICCU YouTube chat. You can let us know your thoughts today on the topics that we're hitting on. We'd always love to interact with our viewers in the show, so that's where you can do that. And we're going to start with Boise State softball. Well, Bronco Nation Update says if you're a sports fan, the next 4 days are for you. Go Broncos. You got a big couple of days coming up. You got Boise State women's basketball tomorrow night. We're going to have Gordy Presnell on the show tomorrow morning, agreeing to come on a game day to talk to us tomorrow morning. Looking forward to that. They got a big weekend coming up. Home games Thursday against New Mexico, and then Saturday they're home against UNLV. You got Boise State basketball, as I said, against Wyoming on Saturday. And you got Boise State softball kicking it off with a pair of ranked teams on Friday down in Orlando, Florida. And nice enough to jump on for a couple of minutes and talk with us is the head coach of the Boise State softball team, Justin Shults. Justin, appreciate your time. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good, BJ. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, as always, we see you're making the media rounds. We saw the Statesman article. We got an article coming out. A lot of, looks like some interest in, I guess, the beginning of the season. There's always some interest, but coming off the year you guys had last year, I think it's well-deserved, and we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully it's going to be the first of many times we can catch up with you during the season. But is there a little more of a buzz going into this season, maybe year number 2 for you?
Yeah, I think momentum's huge. We had a huge year last year. I think the big topic is we fell just short of the postseason. And so for us right now, I think there's a lot of fans who are intrigued to see what year 2 brings. Obviously, we've got a much tougher schedule this year, but I think this lineup that we have and roster that we have is going to be just as competitive.
Zach Price already chiming in on the YouTube channel here. Want to know, curious how the softball team handling preseason expectations. As I said, you're the preseason Mountain West favorite in a close vote over San Diego State. Obviously, you guys are coming off, as you said, the 40-win season, tying, for the record at Boise State. A lot of people are expecting, hoping, wanting to see you guys make the NCAA tournament this year and have a chance at a Mountain West championship. How is the team handling a little more of this hype and expectations?
Yeah, I think with media being around a little bit more this year already, I think our team started to understand how to kind of block that out at times. It's fun to be a part of it. It's great for momentum in our fans, but at the end of the day, we're glad that people think highly of us and ranked us number one in the coaches poll. But it's really about just going out and playing good softball early on in the season, and so I think our team's ready to handle the expectations of being the front runner versus maybe an underdog this year.
Well, you had Colin Mitchell and I out at practice yesterday. We appreciate that. And I got to say, one of your coaches told me I was standing in the wrong spot. And I would say within about 10 seconds, there was a liner down the third baseline off one of your lefties that probably would have smoked me in the back of the head. So that was smart coaching.
Yeah, I mean, it's Cavan. There's a lot of stuff going on, though. It's a little unorthodox setting up all those cages, and we allow you guys to roam free. But yeah, you got to have a head on a swivel all the time.
It was a very efficient use of your time. I thought you had the stations going, you were moving them around. But as you see in the video here, you're practicing in Kevin Williams, not outside on a softball field. What has the challenge been? I understand that you guys have yet, you play on Friday and you've yet to actually have a practice out on a softball field this entire last month of practice here.
Yeah, I think it's for us. We did the same thing last year. It's a little nerve-wracking. We'll get to Florida early on Thursday and get to practice on some dirt for the first time. But honestly, it is what it is. Up in Boise, we don't get the weather that most people have, so we got to make do with what we've got in the cabin. And it's a great setup, tons of space to have a lot of different drills, and the change from turf to dirt isn't huge as long as we're playing on the right fields. And UCF is a really, really solid facility, and so I think we're going to be in a good spot defensively.
We see some of your pitchers going through some bullpens here. Tell us about the pitching staff this year. I know you've added a couple of transfers. What should we expect from the pitching staff?
Yeah, Taylor Cottle's going to obviously returning as one of our aces from last year. I still think she's going to have a really big role for us. We added Lindsey Wall-Jasper, who I think has kind of come into that 1A or 1B spot, if you will, from getting a lot of innings. The one that's really, really been impressive, though, for us is Brooke Thompson. I think she had more of a learning year last year as a freshman, got a few innings here and there, but didn't need to carry as much of a load. And this year, I think we're going to be leaning on her a lot more, and she's really, really shown and risen to the occasion.
How many pitchers do you need? I mean, in terms of getting to where you want to get, I mean, how many you can't, I know you can ride one or two, but I mean, how many solid pitchers do you think you need, and does the team need to be able to compete?
Yeah, I mean, 5 to 10 years ago, you could probably get away with 2 pitchers and be just fine. Nowadays, our goal is we don't want to wear out our top-end pitching too much, and we need a full staff. So I think you'll see about 6 different pitchers throughout the season get some innings. Some are matchup-based. Some are going to be getting some good experience in some games that we like the matchup with. But I think you'll see about 6 of them. Amber Thornton's a freshman who's really shown well. She's a local kid, and so I think she's going to get some innings probably earlier than I thought she would when we recruited her. I think we thought she might need a year, kind of like Brooke did last year, to really learn the system and develop, but she's really ran with her opportunities.
We're talking with Justin Shults, the Boise State softball coach, here on Bronco Nation News Live at BroncoNationNews.com and on our social media channels. This was the area of the complex where I almost got drilled over in the corner. You were working on, looked like taking it to right field, or at least working with some outside pitches in this drill. So is that kind of the different stations? We're all working on different things?
Yeah, we break it up day by day, and yesterday was a lot of outside focus. I think sometimes we get a little pull happy, so we were just talking about covering the outside part of the plate with our barrels and making sure that we still can hit that thing for power. And I thought our athletes did a good job adjusting to the different drills we put them in.
In terms of the offense, where are you at with the offense this year? Who are some of the top hitters fans should be looking for? Who may need to take that next step from last year? Talk to us about the offense.
Yeah, got quite a bit of returners. You got Kelsey Hall. Great year last year, was ranked the comeback player of the year, or awarded the comeback player of the year by extra innings after she tore ACL 2 years ago. So she's back in the lineup, and we expect big things from her. The Flores sisters are back. They'll be in the middle of our order somewhere. But Serena Hutchinson, I think, is the one that's had a really, really big climb. Last year was her first year back after Tommy John surgery, and getting her a year of just comfortability behind the plate and at bats. I think she's had a huge fall in January, so I'm expecting big things from her as well.
You mentioned the Flores sisters are back. That wasn't always going to be the case, was it?
It was not. Aaliyah gave us a surprise right before school started in August and said she wanted to come back for her last year of eligibility. And so luckily we were able to get her into a graduate program here in January and get her back with us. But she's been a great leader in January. And I think the younger athletes have really learned from her and the tempo that she plays at.
The 40 wins. I know it was big talk in the offseason, getting snubbed from the tournament and stuff like that. And I'm sure you're tired of thinking about it or talking about it. But when you think about that motivation and that feeling of being on the wrong side of the bubble, whether you thought you deserved it or not, how much do you think that is fueling your players to kind of leave no doubt and make sure you guys are on the right side of the bracket this year?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think we think about like athletes like Kelsey Lawler, Ali Singh, Hannah Bailey, and Sarah Johnson, all big parts of that 40 win season last year, and for them not to get to experience the postseason in their final year when we thought it was deserved. I think our athletes understand what's at stake, and we want to do it not just for ourselves in this 2023 season, but for the athletes who did start building this program back to where it was a few years ago.
Rudy says, I purchased season tickets to the wagon for the first time. Excited to share the experience with my granddaughter who loves to play softball. What do you make of the fan interest? And I know it's tough because I think the first 4 weekends are all on the road. So you're trying to build momentum, but you're not necessarily, it's hard for fans to kind of follow along. As Chris kind of says here, can we start getting some softball weather, please? But I mean, it's just the way it is, right? You got to play on the road to start the season. You got to try to get as many games in as you can early on in warmer weather, but does make it a little tough, I guess, when your first 4 weekends are away from home.
Yeah, and I think that's where media is so important, why we've pushed hard with media. You've been awesome for us. I know Jay does a good job. We got an article in the Statesman. National softball brands are constantly pushing Boise State's brand. So for fans, I think we're only going to be on ESPN Plus for our first 5 games of the year. There's a lot more ways to watch us throughout the season rather than just waiting for those home weekends. But I'm praying for good weather in early March so we can host Portland State and get our fans out there and enjoy everything we have to offer.
19 home games, I think, is near the most that the school's ever had. What did you make when you put the schedule together? I know in talking to you, you've said, hey, the record may not be quite as good as it was last year because the competition is way stiffer, but it may put you in a better position for the postseason. What is it, 7 or 8 ranked teams, in terms of the non-conference play? When you got here last year, I guess, was the schedule already kind of put together for you, or what was the philosophy this year compared to last year with the schedule?
Yeah, schedule was already put together when we got here, and that was one of the things that I'm now looking back, we probably should have made some adjustments, but it wasn't a priority for us. It was getting to know the team and really teaching our way of playing softball. So this year, the 2 main focuses for us were we wanted our athletes to be at home more. So we're going from 12 home games to 19. That keeps them home 2 extra weekends this year. And then it was strength of schedule is the other priority for us. It's how do we go to these big time stadiums, play in front of a lot of fans where it's a postseason atmosphere, and really see how we do. And it's going to be learning. Whether we win or lose, it's always going to be learning for the next weekend. It's going to prepare us late in May to make a push.
We'll finish up in a second with this weekend's tournament, but what else is on the docket in terms of the non-conference schedule, over the next month plus here?
Yeah, we get to go to some warm weather places. San Diego, we'll play some quality opponents down there. We go to Arizona State where we get a couple Pac-12 schools. We get Grand Canyon, who won their conference. So a really talented mid-major. We get Michigan State, and we get Houston, who we got to play twice last year. So that one's going to be a really fun one. And then we go to Stanford. We were able to beat Stanford really early last year. I think Jessica Allister's done an amazing job over there of continuing to put that program into a super regional World Series talk now. And so it's going to be fun to see how we do in a 2-game series against them. And then we'll add Michigan in 2 games at Stanford as well. So those are other 3 non-cons.
But you're not easing into things this weekend, are you? You start the season on Friday with a pair, I think, of like top 20 teams in Georgia and UCF. Both those games, as you said, are available on ESPN Plus for folks that have that. But what's your make of going all the way to Orlando to start the season and against some tough competition this weekend? And what are kind of obviously you want to go 5-0, but what is kind of the mindset going into this weekend?
Yeah, I think for us, it was how do we get into a regional feel week 1. And when I saw what Cindy Ball over at UCF put together in the tournament with Georgia, Ohio State, UMass, and UCF, it makes it feel like that regional experience. The fans are going to be really, really excited to be out there. I know they do a good job showing up. So for us, it was how quickly can we put a team in that atmosphere. And it's not going to be about the wins and the losses. I want to go 5-0, absolutely. But for us, it's going to be, do we play our softball or do we allow maybe the speed of some of those teams to kind of dictate how we play? I want us to hold our own and be resilient? How do we respond in those times of adversity week one?
Kurt Blake asking if I'm going to be traveling with the softball team this year. We'll see if they can get off to a hot start. Maybe we can find a trip or two to go on. Coach, would that be allowed?
Yeah, we can make that work for you, BJ. But I think Colin gets first dibs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I heard San Diego. That sounds good to me. I heard a couple of the Vegas. Maybe I think you go to UNLV this year. I could probably pull that one off as well. But are you guys kind of just ready to? There's only so many times you can face your own pitchers, right? I mean, and take ground balls on an indoor field. I mean, are you guys ready to just to start the season and play somebody and see where you're at?
Yeah, our athletes are excited. For them to get outside, I think, is probably the most exciting thing right now. It's supposed to be in the 70s this weekend, so we've practiced enough. Now it's time to go see where we're at week one.
Well, coming off an impressive season, 40 wins. I know there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of programs. Football and men's basketball get a lot of the pub, but softball, volleyball, soccer. I mean, there's a lot of other quality programs at Boise State that we're hoping to be able to give some love to here at Bronco Nation News moving forward. And softball is certainly going to be one of them. Colin will be out at good majority of the home games this spring. Justin will be keeping up with you as well. Even the next month while you're on the road as well. But appreciate your time as always. Hopefully we can make this a regular thing, and safe travels down to Orlando, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate the time. There
he is, Justin Shults, Boise State softball coach. Appreciate him coming on here on Bronco Nation News. And great, exciting weekend for them. Some big games coming up, and obviously Georgia and UCF right off the bat on day one. So excited to follow the softball team. And again, those games on Friday will be available on ESPN Plus. So you can watch those games and follow them and see how they're doing on this weekend. 5 games to kick off the season for Boise State softball. So appreciate Justin for coming on, and obviously going to be fun to follow them over the next couple of months. Hey, get your comments in, get your questions in. We're going to talk some Mountain West basketball here. Crazy game last night. BNN15 is the promo code. BNN15 is the promo code. Rowpaint.com is where you have to go. Then you get 15% off the interior painting of your home if you use the promo code ROEpaint.com. And again, 15% off the interior painting of your home. Great deal. Take advantage of it. If you got those painting projects, let the professionals take care of it at rowpaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, they'll buy your used car. And like I said the other day, you don't even have to buy from them, which is crazy. You can trade in if you want, or you can just sell your car to them. They will purchase your used vehicle. 3 easy steps, and you go on in there, give them your information, make an appointment, and they'll give you a cash offer from their appraiser on the spot at Lithia Ford of Boise. And again, the Raines family purchased an F-150 from them. We were so happy. It's an awesome vehicle, and couldn't be happier with our choice. So you can do the same at Lithia Ford of Boise. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, that mobile online banking. It's so easy to use. We're so thankful we made the switch to Idaho Central Credit Union. And you get a check, you deposit right there from your phone. You can transfer money, and you never have to go into the branch. And so talked to someone the other day that started an account, and they said that they're so far been very pleased with the service. So ICCU.com to get more information. Make the switch today to Idaho Central Credit Union. If you're looking for a job, how about transcomservice.com? Looking for a new job? Wait, no, don't wait. Get into the trucking industry. It's very lucrative right now in the pandemic. Transcomservice.com. You can give them a call, 866-813-7620. They'll help you with all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. This could be the big rig on your screen to the Amazon truck in your neighborhood. Look no further than Transcomservice.com. We got some comments rolling in here. Softball top 3. Oh, Colin Mitchell's already pumped about the Arizona State tournament. Of course he would be. Do we have Ken Pom predictions for the regular season title? Wonder if Ken Pom favors Nevada winning it given their remaining schedule. We do have Ken Pom does do that, and I will check that real quick. By the way, though, while I'm looking this up, what a game last night. Unbelievable game, and give Nevada a ton of credit. I thought New Mexico was going to win that game. I was frankly a little surprised to see Nevada win, and the way they won, where the ball from Keenan Blackshear, it was a horribly designed play. They had nothing going. It was great defense from New Mexico. He kind of puts up the off-balance jumper with 3 seconds left, and the ball rolls and rolls and rolls around the rim and falls in. Looked like it was going to fall off, and it just goes right in. Never seen a ball with that much English kind of go off and then come back in and stuns the sellout crowd there at the pit. And how about Steve Alford? He is now 8-0 against his former team, New Mexico. So 8-0. He has never lost to New Mexico since he has moved on to Nevada. Pretty impressive. The current projections have San Diego State winning the conference at 14-4. It has Nevada and Boise State finishing tied for second at 13-5. Utah State 12-6. New Mexico 11-7. And then you have San Jose State 8-10. And then you go on down from there. So the KenPom projections, based on their score predictions, their algorithms, has San Diego State winning the game by winning the league by one game over Boise State and Nevada. Tonight is a huge game. And it's basically a pick-em, almost a 50-50 at KenPom. Utah State is hosting San Diego State. If San Diego State wins, they'll kind of take over first place, or keep first place, but take over a little stronger grasp of it because they'll be the game up. But if Utah State finds a way to win, you'll have a three-way tie at the top with Utah State, Boise State, a four-way tie. Utah State, Boise State, Nevada, and San Diego State in the loss column. All the teams haven't played the same number of games, but you could have a four-way tie for first place in the loss column if Utah State were to find a way to win the game tonight in Logan. And the KenPom score prediction is 76-75. Ironically, the exact same score of last night's New Mexico Nevada game, but they've got Utah State winning that game by 1 point. So if you look at San Diego State's schedule, they go to Logan tonight. They host UNLV on Saturday, and then they go to Fresno. They host Colorado State, and then they've got to go at New Mexico, at Boise State in back-to-back games. For their two of their final three games. They were at New Mexico, at Boise State, and then home against Wyoming. So you figure two of those three, that you'd like to see San Diego State lose. If you're a Boise State fan, they've got 3 road trips: Utah State, New Mexico, Boise State, and they actually are projected to lose all 3 of those games by KenPom, although 2 of them, New Mexico and Utah State, are only projected to lose by 1 point. But if they lose 2 of those 3, that's going to give them, 4 conference losses, and then you have to see if Boise State, is a team that can obviously take advantage of that. And, Boise State's got Wyoming on Saturday. I think the at Colorado State game is going to be a tricky game. They're only favored by 5 on KenPom. And then you got UNLV at home, and then you got New Mexico coming in on the 22nd, which could be a monster game. The only game that Boise State is projected to lose on KenPom is at Utah State by 2 points to finish the regular season. So if Boise State were to take care of business, do what the KenPom projections say, Boise State would finish 24-7 in the regular season, and they would be 14-4 in the Mountain West, which I think would give them at least a share of the title. I don't think San Diego State's running the table here. I think they lose 2 of those 3 road games. If Boise State can get to 14-4, which would mean winning the next 6 games, winning against New Mexico and San Diego State at home, if they can pull that off, going to Logan, they're guaranteed no worse than 14-4, and they would probably get a share of the title, and they would go into the tournament, as we said yesterday, with the exact same record as last year. So it says seems less like New Mexico losing, less likely Boise State falls into the 4-5, but less likely to earn a 1 seed. That's probably fair, Derek. I mean, that's probably a fair way to look at it, because let's go look at the standings again. And you've got and the problem is you don't want to be in the 4-5, because the 4-5 means in your quarterfinal game, you're playing one of the other tough teams. If you can get to the 2 or 3, then you're playing, San Jose or Fresno or UNLV, which is a little step down from New Mexico and Utah State, Nevada right off the bat. So, yeah, I mean, you're definitely probably not falling out of that. You're now, but again, right now, Nevada, Boise State, and Utah State are tied for second place with 3 losses. And one of those teams, one of San Diego State, Nevada, Boise State, Utah State, it's going to be the 4 seed probably, and have to play New Mexico. So there's still a lot of games left to play, a lot of juggling going on in the standings, but you really want to stay out of that 4-5 if you can. If you can get in the top 3, that'd be a huge accomplishment for a number of reasons. But for the most part, your quarterfinal game would be a little bit easier. Because if you finish in that 4-5 game, all 3 of your games are going to be against the top 5 teams in the league to try to win the conference. And so that 4-5 would be brutal. As Derek says, Blackshear's shot looked like it was falling out for sure. It rolled around, and then it was like falling out, and then it somehow spun back in. That was unbelievable finish of a game last night, as Jake says, heartbreaker. Yes, it was. If you're a New Mexico fan, looking at Nevada's schedule, Nevada could win out. Let's take a look at Nevada's schedule here. He definitely could. They do have to go to Utah State, though. That's the big one left for Nevada. They still go to Utah State on Saturday, next Saturday. They go to Utah State. The other games are all winnable. They've got Fresno State twice still. They've got San Jose State and UNLV at home. And then they go to Wyoming and to Fresno, as I said. So the only definite game that you would think they should probably lose is they're projected to lose by 3 at Utah State. So at Utah State would be the tough one left for Nevada. But again, if they win the rest of them, that would only put them at 4 losses as well. So you could end up having multiple teams here finish tied atop the standings. And again, if San Diego State loses tonight, you'll have a 4-way tie in the loss column for first place at this point in the season. And a couple of you guys are commenting on Marcus Shaver Jr. And that really is it. Keaton says all depends on Shaver's availability. If he's back, Boise State can run it. No update yet. Today's Wednesday. I know that they were going to give a lot of the Degenharts and Max Rices of the world a couple extra days off, and then lock back in on Wyoming here, starting probably today or this week, later in the week. It's been a grind for these guys, and they're definitely looking for a little bit of a break and give these guys a little more extra time to kind of heal up going into Saturday for the stretch run here. No word on Shaver's status, and I'm guessing even on Friday when we talk to Leon Rice, he's not going to tell us if he's playing or not. This could be a situation where now not only is Graham Ike out, but the leading scorer is out for Wyoming as well. I know they still have Maldonado, but they're without their leading scorer this year for the rest of the season. And I think there's a chance you don't play Marcus Shaver on Saturday either. Nothing against Wyoming, but I think you can beat Wyoming at home with a big crowd without Marcus Shaver Jr. And that would give him, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or whatever. It's 3 or 4 extra days going into the Colorado State game. That would be basically 2 full weeks off for Marcus Shaver Jr. going into the Colorado State game. So I think there is a chance, and I would say if I had to guess, it's probably less likely. I don't think he plays against Wyoming, and maybe he could and push it, but I don't think you do. I think you rest him. You try to win against Wyoming without him, which you need to be able to do, and I think you can. And then you try to get him as close to 100% as you can for the stretch run. Hey, save the date, June 2nd. The golf tournament's back. Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament, 2nd annual, benefiting the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, some other charitable causes we're looking into. But the save the date, June 2nd. If we get enough interest, we're going to have a morning and an afternoon flight. So it's going to be an all-day event, lunch in the middle, a program in the middle, talking to some of the coaches. It sounds like they're in again, so it should be a lot of fun. Timberstone Golf Course on June 2nd. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorange.store.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. Make sure you check them out, theblueandorange.store.com. I was just out there yesterday at Pro Image. I bought a new Chiefs sweatshirt for my wife and a new Chiefs hat for myself. We are, my wife and I are going down to Las Vegas to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I bought some new Chiefs gear. They got all the AFC, NFC championship gear for the Eagles, for the Chiefs, all the Super Bowl shirts. So if you're looking to get some gear for the Super Bowl, head to Pro Image, and it's right there next to the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Go download the Ridley's app while you're at it. ShopRidleys.com. Find a location near you. I was told that the Cuna location is the best spot to pick up the 4-packs of Cutwater canned cocktails. So if you like Cutwater spirits and you want to get the 4-packs, the Cuna Ridley's is the best spot in town to get those. So they have the most variety of the 4-packs. Check them out. ShopRidleys.com for the location near you. And again, download that new app and you get exclusive savings on the app when you go to one of their 13 Idaho locations. If you're looking for business insurance, look no further than United Commercial Insurance. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com, 229-8222. Quick call could save you hundreds of dollars on your business insurance. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. They're trying to beef up their Treasure Valley accounts, though. So if you're a business owner in the Treasure Valley, 229-8222, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. And again, they make it easy, and a quick call can save you a lot of money. So check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. They also make it easy at Boise Dentistry Co. Full family dentistry and wellness. You can set up the appointments for your kids, your grandparents, whoever. You get the whole family in there, knock it out in an hour and 2, and you're done for the next 6 months. Locations all across the Treasure Valley. They're just opening up their 5th location on Overland Road here shortly. So 208-906-1255 is the phone number. You can find a location near you, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Dr. Miner and his staff do just a tremendous job, and we're very thankful for their support. So check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Matt Boucher Real Estate, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Boucher. We'll see him sitting courtside on Saturday against Wyoming. Get more information, BoucherRealEstate.com. No home is too big or too small for Matt Boucher and his team. So let a former Bronco help you out when you're looking to buy or sell that next home. Get more information and connect with Matt at BoucherRealEstate.com. We got some more comments rolling in here. What about Najee? Any word there? He played. He obviously wasn't 100%, but I think he's probably getting a lot of rest this week, and I would assume that he's going to be good to go for Wyoming. He toughed it out. He was clearly not 100%, and I think that he's going to be good to go for Saturday, but I don't know that for sure. What would the cost of the tourney if anyone wants to play? 36, asking for a friend. I think it would just be double the original fee. We can talk about that later, Rudy. But I think whatever it would cost for one foursome, you would just pay for two foursomes, and you'd get one in the morning, one in the afternoon. We would love to have folks play 36 if they'd like. But I don't know if there'd be a discount for that or not. Maybe we could knock off $100 or something. I got to think about that. But mostly it would be the cost of two foursomes, but you'd get, two sets of all the goodies and things like that as well. So Big Wade saved my spot. Team huge. Looking forward to that. Had a good time. I know you're out there smoking some stogies last year and having some fun. Big Wade. Appreciate that. Looking forward to having you back sometime in March, probably early March. We'll put some of the registration stuff and get that going. But for now, just keep it on your date. Kurt's going to be out there as well. So should have a lot of fun at the golf tournament. Patsy and Peter Olson agree Shaver should be rested against Wyoming. And I hate to say that, you never want to tempt fate or think you can win a game without somebody in the Mountain West, but a home game against one of the worst teams in the league, if he's not 100%, I think you gamble and hold him out so you've got him ready to go for the stretch run, because I think that Colorado State game is going to be a tough one. I'm not sure you can win at Colorado State without Marcus Shaver Jr. So if that means resting him against Wyoming, I think you take that gamble and you take your chances there to see what happens. So appreciate everybody for checking us out today. We got Gordy Presnell, the women's basketball coach, coming on tomorrow's show ahead of their game tomorrow night. We'll have Mike Prater tomorrow as well. Jay Tust on Friday as we get you set for the Wyoming game on Saturday. So we got a lot going on. We are having basketball coaches. Yes, there should be. I think Coach Shults is going to come play again. I've talked to Coach Burns, Coach Duryea. I'm not ready to make any official announcements, but yes, the goal is to have some familiar names, potentially even Coach Rice as well out there if we can make it work with the scheduling. So we are looking forward to that. And yes, it will be a very similar tournament to last year in terms of some KTIK radio is going to be out there broadcasting. It should be a lot of fun out there on June 2nd. So we'll continue to sprinkle in some of the announcements and confirmed players and things like that moving forward, but just put it on your calendar, June 2nd, and we'll get you all the details closer to the time in terms of how to register and pay and things like that. And if you're a business owner, we'd love to talk to you as well about sponsoring a hole and getting a booth out there or becoming a sponsor of the tournament. So let us know. Send me an email, Rains, RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com, and we'll get you more information. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. We got a lot of stuff we're working on at BroncoNationNews.com. We'll have a softball story coming out from Colin. Hope you had a chance to go read that Mike Burns story. I spent a couple weeks working on that, and the reaction was very positive yesterday. So go learn about Mike Burns and Boise State's defense at BroncoNationNews.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free and easy right now at the bottom of the screen. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and you can get notified when we have future broadcasts. If you're watching on Twitter, I can't take comments on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter and you tried to comment to the show, I don't get it. So from now on, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then that way you can just find us that way and know when we go live with all the broadcasts and things like that. So appreciate Coach Shults for coming on. Good luck to the softball team on Friday. We'll have a little more talk about them on Friday. We got a little video package that Colin's putting together for Friday as well. And then thanks, Wade. Excellent read, by the way, on Mike Burns. So appreciate that. But as I said, well, Mike Prater tomorrow, Gordy Presnell as well, highlighting a couple of the non-men's basketball and football sports this week with no basketball game till Saturday. So another big one tonight in the Mountain West. You got two Mountain West games, actually, if you want to watch. UNLV is at Wyoming, so if you want to get a sneak peek for Wyoming coming to Boise on Saturday, you can watch that tonight. But the big one is San Diego State at Utah State. And again, if San Diego State were to lose, you'd have a four-way tie for first place in the Mountain West. So Mike Prater and I will break it all down tomorrow, 9 a.m., If any other news breaks or things happen, we'll have you covered at BroncoNationNews.com. We'll pop on here and do a live show if we need to, if it's big breaking news. But Mike Prater and I, 9 a.m. tomorrow, come on back, and we'll start to get you set for Saturday's game at Wyoming. We'll look at the updated standings and kind of see where we're at in the Mountain West with a couple of weeks left to go here. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. Appreciate you. as always, go subscribe, $6.99 a month, $70 for a full year. You get exclusive shows, recruiting coverage, commentary, message board posts, all kinds of cool stuff for subscribers. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Mike Prater, 9 a.m. tomorrow, BroncoNationNews.com.